to Podcast Series 101. I'm your host today, Ian, and with my partner, Mark, to share with you guys a new and very hot topic for today's episode, which talks about fighting for truth, vlogging versus journalism, a case of Mocha, Uson, and Maria Ressa Rappler. Mark, kamusta?
Ito yan, still doing great, happy and contented. How about you?
Siyempre, okay lang din. I'm very grateful kasi we're still here doing podcast pa din, and thanks God for that.
Yeah.
Mark, alam naman natin na very hot topic ngayon is politics kasi malapit na yung election. This upcoming May 9, and a lot of people nowadays already choose or set their respective local and national candidates for the election.
Yes, definitely I would agree on that. In fact, it is my first time to see how participative the general public is. And I've seen a lot of posts on social media, especially on Facebook, kung saan napaka-active ng ating mga nanay at tatay. Makikita din natin sa TikTok, and especially sa YouTube.
To that partner, munti ko na makalimutan, we invited a very special guest for today's episode to share his views about politics and social media. But before that, mamaya natin siya pakilala.
Yeah.
Mark, di talaga mawawala yung pistahan online kapag malapit na yung election. Both parties share their own arguments and political agenda sa sinusuportahan nilang kandidato. And sometimes, pag hindi tayo vigilant sa mga sinishare o pinopost online, fake news na pala, hindi siya credible.
Yeah. Actually, nababasa mo rin to yan eh. Kung gaano talaga kalaganap ang fake news sa social media. Especially Facebook and TikTok and even in Twitter.
Meron ako nabasang article, partner. Sinabi na most of the political candidates and their supporters use social media as a medium of political advertising to share or caught the attention of all social media users.
Now, here's the thing, partner. The general public tend to believe news, especially when the news was said by the people who had power. And sad to say, those people in power are the ones spreading fake news.
And it's not only the social media users, but also to the general public. And it's not new for us, di ba?
Yeah.
Mark, at this point of time, let us define what is vlogging and journalism and its very distinctive features.
Parang gusto kong mauna ikaw, partner.
Sige, partner.
Sige nga.
According to sources, vlogging is the process of writing a blog, an online journal in which you share thoughts about a particular subject with readers. Yung pinopost or sinashare natin sa FB, Twitter, Instagram, that's already considered as a vlog. Nalala ko nga, partner, isa sa pinakasikat at naging controversial sa mundo ng vlogging is walang iba kundi si former Assistant Secretary of the PCOO, Ms. Mocha Uson.
Speaking of Mocha, Uson, remember ko nga sa aming lugar, partner. Of course, lugar namin medyo masikip-sikip ang mga bahay. At uwang-tawa talaga ako dahil napatanong yung matanda sa mga bata kung sino daw si Mocha Uson. Sa sagot naman ng mga bata, sabi nila, yung sumasayaw at saka nagbabara. Si nanay, di alam kung sino si Mocha Uson. Akala niya pinagtatawanan siya. Siyempre, yung matanda, tinapon yung walis tingting. At doon, napamura ang mga bata.
Naalala ko din, partner, she was called as the peddlers of fake news kasi walang katotohanan yung pinopost niya online. Like yung hashtag study now and pay later, hashtag Trillanes Hidden Wealth, at hashtag Honduras Soldiers na nakapukaw sa atensyon ng mga social media users online. And it's not only the case of Mocha Uson, but marami pang iba. Partner, siguro it's your turn to define what journalism is?
Now, let's talk about journalism, no? By definition, journalism, it is the activity or of gathering, writing, publishing, or broadcasting, and feature materials such as through prints, magazines, books, televisions, at isa sa mga pinakakilala sa mundo ng journalism sa ngayong panahon ay si Maria Ressa ng Rappler.
Alam naman natin, partner, na yung Rappler is very consistent sa pagbibigay ng information which is based on truth and facts. And still, number one pa din sila sa pagbibigay ng information sa ating mga kababayan. To reflect, one of the difference between vlogging and journalism is that journalism is all about objectivity. Merong proofs and evidence based on facts. Whereas yung vlogging is more personal and can be subjective.
Partner, it's time na siguro na introduce natin ang ating guest.
Yes, partner.
So, our guest is no other than our friend of mine. He graduated as BA Sociology in MSU IIT. Let us welcome Ivan.
So, hi guys, I'm here to talk about the case of Mocha Uson and Maria Ressa, blogger versus journalist. So, let's talk about disinformation. Disinformation is an old story fueled by new technology, so it's not something new. Mobilizing and manipulating information was a feature of history long before modern journalism established standards which define news as a genre based on particular rule of integrity. So, powerful new technology makes the manipulation of fabrication so simple. So, social networks dramatically amplify falsehood peddled by states, populist politicians, corporate entities, as these are shared by the public. So, weaponizing the internet is a strategy, chipping away at facts, using half-truths that fabricate an alternative reality by merging the power of bots and fake accounts on social media to manipulate the public. So, fighting for truth, blogging versus journalism. Mocha Uson versus Maria Ressa, which is which? So, the case of Mocha Uson and Maria Ressa is an intriguing one because both are politically motivated but contrasting in nature. So, the former is a blogger that supports Duterte administration and the latter is a journalist that opposes the said administration. So, Mocha Uson rose to fame as a leader of all-female group which is called Mocha Girls in 2016. So, Uson became one of the campaign rally leaders of the said presidential candidate Rodrigo Duterte. So, the Mocha Uson blog was created for Duterte supporters that has now gained millions of Facebook followers. On the other hand, Maria Ressa is an Asian journalist for 35 years and co-founder of the digital news website called Rappler. So, in October 2021, she was one of the 2 journalists that were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Ressa has been known a critic of President Duterte, constantly documenting the quote brutal end quote war on drugs campaign of the administration. Mocha Uson's narrative as a Duterte supporter revolves around glorifying the Philippine president since she fervently believed that he would end criminality in the country. In her social media blog, Uson continues to proliferate good news about the Duterte administration to encourage fellow supporters. However, Uson has been involved in numerous controversies related to disinformation. In fact, she is known as the queen of fake news in the country. Examples include her sharing false information on Kian Del Santos shooting, a student rally at St. Scholastica's College, and a certain body from Brazil. In addition, she has also been involved in scandals such as red tagging of students and state universities, the lewd federalismo video, and many others. In summary, Uson's narrative centers around glorifying Duterte's name, spreading malicious disinformation to his detractors. Meanwhile, Maria Ressa was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts to safeguard freedom of expression, which is a precondition for democracy and lasting peace. In her more than 3-decade service to journalism, she has been subjected to political harassment. Ressa is an avid advocate for press freedom, hence she continuously documented the extrajudicial killings entangling Duterte's war on drugs. Despite facing threats and difficulties, it can be deduced that her narrative revolves around exposing Duterte's human rights abuse of the victims of his anti-drug campaign. She and the digital news media she co-founded, Rappler, have been branded as proliferator of biased news by many. So, what are its social and political effects on the public? Both Uson and Ressa have stirred up mixed reaction from the public. Of course, Duterte supporters will always side with Uson and his detractors with Ressa. Just like most countries, the politics in the Philippines has always been a hot issue that causes division among its people, especially with the rise of social media and the pandemic setup. The political activities and discourse in the country grew all the more intense today. Meanwhile, there is a noticeable trend among those that support Uson and those that support Ressa. So remember that Uson is a blogger and social media is her sole platform for spreading news, which is most often malicious and fake news. Based on observation, most of her followers tend to share disinformation on their social media accounts too. Most of them are characterized by a lack of awareness of legitimate news and events. They tend to be selective in taking in information, only wanting those that favor their political bets, regardless of whether the news is false or not. In her Facebook page intro, or what we call bio, Uson wrote, "Not a journalist, just an ordinary Filipino," which seemingly implies that she doesn't need to become a journalist to spread information, and that she is entitled to whatever she shares in her blog. On the other hand, Ressa supporters take pride in being fact checkers that can easily distinguish legitimate news from fake ones. However, they are most often branded as anti-government and elitist. They are also known as supporters of biased news from news media like Rappler, ABS-CBN, CNN, and others. With all this discussion, it can be deduced that in the Philippines, both blogging and journalism are equal in terms of public information. Unfortunately, journalism has been put in a bad light due to political strife that some people no longer believe in. Blogging is a professional method of delivering news, yet it has been widely accepted in our country. The rapid spread of information might be the biggest effect of this entire discourse between blogging versus journalism. With the approaching national elections, political feuds among the publics are amplified and heightened. Some present blogs as evidence of their political stance, while others shares information from verified media outlets. In the end, people will always believe what they want to believe. Some might try to enlighten others about the truth, but the reality is people will never be able to set aside their personal biases and will always believe in their personal truths. So, yeah, that's it. What are your thoughts, Jem and Joshua?
Thank you, Ivan, for sharing your views and perspectives and for the time you spent with us today. And to the viewers. Partner, ano ba yung takeaways natin for today's episode?
It is hard to determine which the fake. Fake news had been rampant in our social media, and it is very important to determine which is the truth. We must understand that news you are spreading could change and affect the lives of many. Nonetheless, let us evaluate, recheck, and think before you click.
Again, partner, thank you. Let us always remember,
Think
before you click. I'm your host for today, Ian.
And I'm your host for today, Mark.
God bless everyone.